Hey guys, Elisa Wallace here. This week's video is going to be about introducing an off-the-track thoroughbred to jumping. And if you're an advanced level Patreon, you're going to have bonus footage from my lesson with Ann Krasinski. So this is Ricky. He is a off-the-track thoroughbred that I have recently gotten, and this will be his first kind of jumping session. And so I'd started off, which you didn't see earlier, by walking over the poles, and now I've started with them just a smidge higher, not even a foot tall, I don't think. And this is just to kind of let him sort it out. Now, the biggest thing is working on staying straight and making sure that I stay out of his way. And now I'm going to continue on at the trot. And again, making sure it's nice and low to help build his confidence. And you'll see here kind of how he's trying to figure out his body. He's still pretty awkward, not quite sure what to do with the shoulders. And here in the slow motion. And again, in the beginning stages, a couple of exercises to do is to put in some nice figures and doing circles before and after the jumps, and also incorporating halts after the lines, because that helps instill the balance of the horse, because that is a big thing for these young horses to learn. Now, Ricky is 6. Actually, he's 7 this year. And he's lightly raced, but you can see he's sorting out his body and his balance. And now I'm letting him canter these smaller ones here, and he knocks the pole down, which is not a big deal. But then I really like the reaction afterwards. So what I really like to look for in a young horse, that they're of course going to make mistakes, but then how they carry on to the next fence. Are they going to kind of change and really react to it? So here you can see how much his shape has already changed over the fences. And so now we're going to get to see that in slow-mo. And you can see he had just knocked down the rail on the previous line, but his whole shape has completely changed in just a couple of jumps. And I'm working on just keeping him balanced, staying soft, and making sure I have a nice light seat and I'm not in his way at all. And I was really pleased with that reaction that he gave me. So we're going to fast forward a bit to 2 weeks later with Ricky, and you'll see he has a fresh body clip, and the jumps are about 2 holes higher, so about 2 foot, no more than 2-3. And he's starting to get pretty confident, but we're still working on the basics of keeping our balance and jumping in stride and learning how to jump in a nice shape. And there you saw he lost a little balance, he swapped off, he knocked the rail. But that's just part of the learning process for them. So I'm really working on, as a rider, especially for a young horse off the track, staying nice and light in my seat. Even if he breaks down to the trot, I'm going to let him do that, but I'm just going to stay nice and positive. And I always want to make sure that I never pull back on the horse over the fence. So even if that means that I have to grab a little bit of mane, that's okay. And so then coming to that line there, I was really working on rebalancing him. He tends to want to kind of go a little bit on the forehand because he does have a fair amount of power behind. And I just have to help him a little bit understand how to rock back. And you see he swapped off a little bit there. But then coming over the next fence, he started to actually rock back and give me a much better shape, which is really great feeling when you can start to feel them understand what to do with their body. So again, I'm going to come to this line. He drops to the trot, no big deal. But he's really jumping, trying to get nice and over that oxter. And you can see he's starting to figure it out. Made a nice bascule and reaching with his neck. And now some of the things that I like to do when I'm not riding them to help build their confidence is, for instance, he was kind of peaky at this tarp, so I took the opportunity. Fledge was with us, and Fledge doesn't mind tarps at all. And I really like to have other horses help build confidence in the others. So this is a really good learning exercise for him to realize the tarp is not scary, and it really does help transfer into jumping and under saddle. So now another fast forward to the next week where we went off property to my dad's farm as he was doing really well at my house. And you can see he's already starting to really get a really good jump in there. Like, he's a very athletic horse and he really wants to try. But we are seeing new things and very different fillers. So here we had a refusal, and that's okay. I'm just going to ask him to back up. And then I'm going to ask him to trot and jump it from there. And then come back and forth a couple of times at the trot. Repetition is really my friend when it's nice and low, and building up the confidence for him. I really don't like to turn away necessarily when I have a refusal from the young horses. Obviously, I only want to try something that I know that they are going to be successful in. So I know he's fully capable of jumping these. And this one you can see he really does give it a fair shot. And he jumps really good with the knees, but he's a bit in a heap and lands like in a thud. But I really appreciated the effort that he put in that. And also in developing the young horses, I'm going to be doing lots of trot pulls, but he's not quite ready yet for the pulls with the jumps. So I have to keep things pretty simple right now. And just, again, establishing that rhythm, making sure I'm in a neutral position. And I'm going to be nice and soft with my hands. And doing lots of little half halts where I take a little tug on the rein to make him rebalance himself, which he did a really good job there because that was a bit of a tight distance to that cross rail. And again, this is more so about going off property and being in a different place and seeing different things. And I was really pleased with how he was really trying to sort things out, giving me a really big effort. And that's all kind of in the process with the young horses. They're going to try to figure out exactly what you want them to do. And then as they start to feel better and get stronger and stronger, their shape is going to continue to get better and better. And so coming to that line again. And now he's starting to do less rocket ship up in the air. Still a little bit, but that's okay. So there I had another kind of, I'm not sure about the cross rail because we hadn't jumped this line yet. So I'm going to ask him to back up. And then he's fully capable of trotting that. And then I'm going to go back to it again. I have to make sure I have the correct lead. And it's just he wasn't sure. I always, again, try to make sure that even though I'm half halting, I'm always softening and allowing, even after the half halt. I'm not just constantly pulling. So I have the connection with the horse. There he jumps. He's getting better and better about sorting out his body and his shape over the things that he's not sure about. And then again, working on keeping that balance so he's not leaning on the forehand. And that right there was not a very good distance. It's kind of like a three-legged long, but I'm going to try to stay in a neutral position, grab a little bit of mane so I don't punish him for jumping because it was a good boy to jump from an unsure spot. But I believe that staying neutral and allowing the horses to sort it out really helps them for the better. And then I really liked the reaction he gave to me the second time because I asked, and then he rocks back on his hocks and really gives me a good jump. And I was super pleased with how far he's come along. So thanks guys for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it, and a big thank you to my Patreons. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the little bell to make sure you don't miss a video. And I'm really excited to give my advanced level Patreons a look into a lesson that I had with Ann Krasinski.